This podcast is powered by The Plug. The Connect with graffiti. All right, y'all, so I'm not going to lie. I feel like I had to be like on my P's and Q's with this one. Like I had to extra cross my T's and dot my I's for this one. I've been waiting on this one for a while, but I'm sitting in front of Shay J, the interview guru, and I'm interviewing you.
No pressure.
No pressure
No
at all.
pressure
You know what I'm saying? Her name is the interview guru.
Right. No pressure though.
And I'm on the other side of the mic.
I love it.
How you doing?
I am doing great. I'm blessed.
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 Your mental's good? How's your mentals? You good?
Man, it's been my focus. So I think it's so phenomenal that my mental just feels right now.
Yeah.
I really have been intentional about making sure. Oh, because life be lifing. So,
For sure.
The centering thing that I do has been so consistent in my life that I'm in control, and that feels great.
I like that word, intentional. That's a good word for this year.
For the year period, right?
It's been one of those.
It has been a year. And then the fact that we're in November, I'm like, I don't know how the yeared, but it did.
Yeah.
And it's been a year, but intentional, I think, has been my guiding light.
For sure.
And so even when things are off, they're still on, you know?
I like
it's been
that.
like present and being like, oh, I'm good.
I like that. So right now somebody's listening and they're like, okay, I know that voice. I recognize it. But you know what I'm saying? For people that don't know, who is Shay J?
Ooh, that is
It's a heavy question.
That's loaded.
We can start with professionally. What do you do
Professionally, I love that you started off with my whole interview guru, because that's my land. That is where I am. Media has been my vehicle for so long in so many different shapes and forms. You know, I graduated from American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City.
Nice.
Back in 2008. Whoa, I am getting old. And it has just allowed me to really be from the front to the back, from on stage to building my own plays, to radio, to TV. And right now, I'm landed at 9 News as a race and culture contributor.
Yeah.
But always doing my own thing too, you know, because I like to dance my own drum. I'm very much an entrepreneur in my own rights.
For sure.
And media has just been a great form of who I am and showing up.
Absolutely. So real quick, the 9 News, you said race and culture.
Yes.
Break that down, because I see you on 9 News. I'm like, this is so dope. That's Shay right there.
I love that.
That's a real one.
This is why I tell people all the time, like, trust your journey.
Yeah.
You know, I know that I've been building for different things, and my goal has always been to have this live audience crazy show. You know, when you see, of course, I've been inspired by Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah,
So, you have to see Oprah, right? And so been blessed to, encounter her about 3 times now, and just really the makings of a lot of the things that I look like for a show that I wanted. And so as going through that process, 9 News came about, and I always was like, man, I don't know. I'm not cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I grew up doing a lot of black media, working with some of the greats, Brother Jeffs, and, people out of the state that were really about the culture. And so it was important for me to not only represent my culture, but then I understood that we deserved a main light, right? We deserved to be in spaces that maybe weren't carved out for us, that didn't look like us.
Right.
And so originally I went in and I was like, yo, they have got to have some producers that are of color. Because we can't just be the face. Yeah. Because you can see in stories, they don't normally unfold the way that we would like them to unfold, because we're not in the background, we're only in the forefront. So I originally went in there and was like, I'll be in the back. Like, I'll just figure out in the back. And they were like, you're funny. You want to be on air. You should go ahead and be in the front. So I was like, okay. And this position, we created it. I created it. This is why I say trust your own journey. I came in and was like, I'm going to do the background. They're like, no, you're going to do the front. So I'm like, well, let me figure out what is lacking here. And I was like, I feel like community is lacking. Like, why aren't we telling my people's stories? Why aren't we talking about events that they have coming up? Why are we not talking about resources that actually help BIPOC communities? Like, why are we not talking about things like that? And so they were like, well, create it.
Yeah.
So now I'm the race and culture contributor. I create my own content, write my own content, research my own content, and really am trying to make sure that I am bridging the gap between community and mainstream media and resources, and really what's happening from a cultural standpoint.
I love that, because for one, it's important.
Yeah.
But personally, like, that resonates with me because I have a very hard time, I don't want to say conforming, but I cannot adjust in corporate environments. And
this is truth telling.
I'm just saying. And I had to just realize that about myself because I keep hitting these different journeys where I know I can contribute talent-wise, and I know what I bring, and I know, that I'm a resource in the community and all that, but I can't mold that to shape the environment that I'm in. I have to bring it authentically.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of platforms that don't want that, or they want it but not authentically.
Exactly.
And so I have a challenge where I'm like, man, I can't be here because I have to come authentically. So for you to enter that space and be like, no, I'm bringing us for real. That's refreshing to see, because usually they'll find like a cookie cutter Shay J and try to be that, but like you really the one in that spot.
Man,
so I commend you for
that. You
said
something so real. I think that was the switch when I understood that I didn't fit in spaces that were already created, like you said, and to understand that that's okay.
Yeah,
and that's really where my purpose lies, right? And so many times I tell people, the hardest thing about what I do is there's no blueprint.
Yep.
There's no cookie cutter way to get where I'm going. And I see pieces of it and glimpses in different people that I admire and that I'm inspired by. But I'm like, it's okay to just be authentically me, because then I'm going to be exactly where I'm supposed to be.
For sure.
And so when some things don't work out, I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. We're getting closer. And closer. Like when I had that mentality switch, it was like I saw blessings that before I probably wouldn't have recognized as blessings. I would have been like, why don't I fit here? Why won't they pay me what I'm worth? Exactly. Why not this? And just realizing all these pieces are really getting me to the ultimate goal.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's all building blocks. Let's talk media in general, and just when you got your passion for media. You're a talker, so naturally you talk. But when did you decide, all right, I'm gonna hop in this lane?
I decided, I really think it was high school. I did speech and debate in high school. I was the ones out there competing. They called it forensics when I was in school. And in high school, I would go and compete, and I was always getting first and second place, and I would do all these monologues and these things, right? And so at first, it was like, I just want to be an actress. I want to be an actress. And when I went to college, there was this aha moment of like, you might be able to do this acting thing, and I was doing that first. But then I saw this space of you could just talk to people and you could tell stories and you can do these different things in media. So I kept finding different passions in media and realized, again, I wasn't cookie cutter. There wasn't a one size fit all for me. And I'm still figuring this out. Every day I find a new facet of me that I'm like, oh, I like that. I'm great at that. Or this is just for a season. I can do this for a season.
Yeah.
And that passion has just really been birthed in me. So I remember being young and playing like I had a microphone and doing interviews and recording them on my little cassette player. I remember doing that, right? And so I just have been so true to the game. And I remember everyone trying to talk me out of it. Like, is there anything else you want to do? Like, can you go to regular school? I was supposed to go to Clark, Atlanta. And I was like, I'm going to Performing Arts College. I'm going to do my audition, and I'm going to get into school. And it all happened.
Yeah, it happened.
Like, it happened.
Yeah,
so,
that's what's up.
Yeah, it was birthed in me.
That's what's up. So that's funny you said people like kind of try to steer you away from that.
Oh my gosh.
We're in a climate right now with media where anybody can and anybody is sitting in front of a microphone or getting on camera and talking and giving opinions. And like us that really do this, quote unquote, you can't help but kind of feel away, because it's good and bad, because yes, everybody has a voice, everybody needs a platform. But it's like we're in a state now where actual journalism is kind of pushed to the backside. How you feel about that?
Oh my God, I'm trying to fix my face right now. Because I'm like, I'm not a hater. Get yours or you get it. I feel like what's for me is for me. So I've never been a gatekeeper of anything, of resources, of the limelight, whatever that is, do your thing. But I feel like let's make sure that we're still actually being intentional about supporting the people that really do it, right? And by knowing the difference. And so I'm like, I don't want to see things in categories that shouldn't be in categories.
Yeah.
I don't want to see things on main stages that we shouldn't necessarily be pushing forward.
Yeah.
And so as this art develops, I want to see the people that have given their life to this, that have really taken this up because there's purpose in it. I want to see us push forward with the right resources, with the right funding. And so when all that other stuff is going, like that could be for somebody else, great.
Yeah.
But we deserve the main stage in this genre, in this space.
Yeah.
And so, it gets real trendy sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it actually stops me from doing some projects where I'm like,
same.
Such a trend, right?
Big same.
And that's the hard part for me. I'm like, you were built to do this, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be a part of what's happening right now. Like, I'm not interested.
And that's a bad feeling, because I hit a little point where I didn't like saying that I was a podcaster.
Right, because you're
and for me to say that is wild because I've been podcasting.
That's you. You've been doing that before
podcasting was podcasting. But now it's like you tell people I have a podcast, I do podcasts, and they're like, just like saying
one in a million.
It's like saying I'm a rapper. Like you know what I mean? And I'm like, it shouldn't feel like that because like I really this is what I do.
Exactly.
So it's kind of hard to not sound like a hater, but I do think we gotta set those boundaries and those walls to show some respect for the people that's
put some respect in our names.
Yeah, that's really doing it.
That's the hard part of like there's no, when we say there's no blueprint in this, right? Because we don't get to be, when there's a lawyer, there's a lawyer. When there's a doctor, there's a doctor. And then we talk about the specialties that doctors have and things of that sort. And it's just this industry is so much, convoluted.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really pinpoint the people that are supposed to be doing this when you just are fed all these things.
Facts.
That are just
It's a fact. It's a fact. We're gonna move on past that one.
We're not hating or anything.
Yeah. A little bit of a heavier topic, but it's real though. So obviously you're a Black woman in corporate media. That alone is a statement. Yeah. So, working 10 times harder to almost hit where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Just your journey.
Ooh. I just pray that everything I'm doing now makes it easier on the next Black girl coming. That is just my absolute hope on that next girl that's sitting there that is a woman of color and is like, I want to do this. I pray that something I'm doing right now makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
Because it's a constant fight. It is a constant battle on feeling valued, feeling like you don't have to work 3 times as hard to get way less than your counterparts because they're not the same skin color as you and because they're not women.
Yeah.
And that is a lot. And sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to fight for what I know I deserve. Like, I just don't want to, right? And sometimes you take lesser so you can just be seen because I know it's my responsibility. Like, I need to show somebody that, hey, we can do it too. And we deserve to be here.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just gets very daunting sometimes.
For sure.
Just to be honest, it does. Sometimes I'm like, why did you choose me for this? Why couldn't I just want to be like, I don't know, an assistant or something, just something that just, why can't I want to be a veterinarian?
I get it.
Just,
like,
I wish I just wanted something like that was.
Right.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm always fighting. And even when I'm not fighting physically about it, I feel like it's still like I have to talk myself through. You're in alignment. You're in the right place at the right time. It's all good. Doors are opening for you. Because I'm always like, hey, we deserve to be here. Hey, I'm knocking on the door. I'm banging on the door.
Yeah.
I'm walking through.
But that's the thing. You're opening that door. So it's kind of hard in a moment to look at it like that. But it's like, all right, now I kick that door open. So it's open for whoever is after me.
Exactly.
And it's difficult to look at it like that.
Well, it is. And it's a responsibility.
I think the older we get, you start to realize that too.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to notice that personally. It's just people that are like, yo, I started podcasting. I didn't even know what a podcast was, but I seen your podcast. I'm like, word? Because little do you know, I'm only podcasting because I couldn't get a job.
Right. You don't even get why I'm doing this.
Yeah. This is why I did this. And I'm like, this was a struggle. So to see that it's starting to plant seeds, I think that's dope.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I appreciate those moments of like, ooh, I encourage someone else.
Word.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But what's next? You got a lot more.
What's next? I feel like I'm always creating things. Like I keep vision boards, I keep vision books. I'm always creating things, right? There's always big picture, small picture, what we're working towards. And I feel like right now I'm in this real season of empowering women. This has been a space that I've been passionate about for a while. And so really figuring out, watching women in these new seasons in life. I recently just got engaged and I'm watching women around me, thank you, that are going through divorces, engagements, first child, death of children, just so many different things. And so I'm like, we are always really talking about like, get the bag, get the bag, get the bag. But if we're not okay mentally, if we're not, really being encouraged to be our best versions of ourselves, we can't even successfully get the bag and maintain the bag and hold the bag because it really means nothing at that space.
Right.
So really making sure I can be an empowerment tool for women and starting up doing women organizations, women talks, women meetups, things of that sort, and just really using my voice to help bring in connections and filter women being around women that maybe their next step to their next season.
Yeah.
And like being a vessel in that space has been really inspiring for me. Like that's been, so I'm like, if I do another podcast or something, it's going to be just for women. Like, I feel like it's okay to give something to my sisters out there.
It is. So
we need it.
Would you say that feels like your purpose, your overall? I mean, that's a hard question.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
At the moment, does that feel like?
I think at the moment it does, because I understand when you impact a woman, you impact a whole entire household.
That's real.
You know, I get that it now influences our children, and I'm really active in youth as well. So I understand if I impact your mother, it's going to impact you. Real. It's going to impact that man, because we know how women and men. And so I just feel like this is the first step to making some real systemic changes, some real cultural shifts. And I want to be a part of that. I want to look up and I want it to outlive me. We're now, generations are now having different conversations at the table, you know, doing different things because
I've planted that seed.
I planted that seed. Yeah.
That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. So check this out. You can go back and talk to a young Shay J. Or even if there's just a young Shay J out there right now, like, yo, I want to do that. I want to be that. What would you say?
Invest in you. Invest in yourself. My mantra that I live by is the best project you'll ever work on is you. So do it intentionally. And I can say, like, I have done millions of things, and some have brought great success. Some have been not as successful, all these things. But the best thing I've done is worked on me. And when you work on you at every different stage, you're prepared for opportunities you didn't even know would come. You're prepared for what this journey is going to do. You show up differently. You attract beautiful things because you're working on you. Like, and you can never outwork working on yourself, right? That's a job that's never going to stop.
Right.
And I know that's what has prepared me for all of these moments. I've been in so many amazing spaces, but I know it was because of self-work.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally that. And so I'm like very much adamant on things happen to me, but my response is up to me.
Yeah.
So when you work on you, you respond differently. And that becomes a beautiful life.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. That's dope. That's the knowledge. Message. Shay, appreciate you.
Yes.
I love everything you're doing. You know, I've been following your journey for a while now. We've been kind of like, you know.
Yes, we have.
Running parallel in this race, so it's dope to see, you know, where it's leading us right now. This is the last question. This one's a little bit funner since we have incorporated music into the Connect. Let me ask you, what's that one go-to song, artist that just gets Shay J going? That's the one. That's your jam. That's your vibe. Like, you got to hear that. And whatever that is, I'll play that after this.
Why would you do me like that? Like, because it's such a... Just right now, like, what's my song right now?
Yeah, just whatever came to mind right now. Like, oh, if you play that right now, I'm good.
This is crazy. What came to my mind right now is Spyro, Who's Your Guy? Okay. It's Afrobeats. I have been in this Afrobeat vibe lately. Really sad that they just canceled the Burna Boy concert on me.
I know, right?
However, I have been in my Afrobeat vibe.
You said Spiral? Okay.
And the song is Who's Your Guy?
Who's Your Guy?
Yeah. It's fire. It's just like that vibe. It gets me feeling good. It makes me feel like, this was made for us. And
Word.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we about to play.
I'm in that right now.
That's what we about to play then. Shay, appreciate you.
Thank you. And thank you for all you're doing. I'm so proud of you. And this growth is always going. And
thank you.
We need this in the culture. So keep doing it for the culture.
I sure will.
You've been doing
I sure will. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Connect. I'm Graffiti. Out.